In this lesson, we'll work on controlling the clavicles. Let's go ahead and create custom parameters and tie them to our chest controller. That way we keep the rig very clean. If we were to bring back our model, you see that due to the character's proportions, it'd be tough to fit an extra control in here. And then we have to worry about our arm rotations. Chances are that control would get buried inside of our rig. So we just want to think about things like that and make sure that our controls are easy to select. So it makes sense to add our clavicle controls right here on the chest control. So that said, I'll go ahead and hide our character, and we'll start to create channels to drive the Y and Z axes of our clavicle bones. Let's go ahead and get to it. Again, grabbing the chest control, we'll head over to our parameter editor, Alt-1. We'll work with a parameter type of float, and let's go ahead and name the first one L-clav vertical. This will be responsible for lifting the shoulder. Let's go ahead and give this a from and to range of -360 and +360. I'll go ahead and copy this name. And let's go ahead and now add the parameter. You can see the test attribute is good to go, so we can just go ahead and add this to our list. I'll paste the name in, and this one will be L-clav horizontal. So this will be responsible for rolling the shoulder back and forth. Let's hit enter to take a look at the test parameter. That looks great. Let's now add it. So we need 2 more for our right side. I'll go ahead and pause the video and take care of those. Okay, so now we have the parameters we need to work with. Let's go ahead and wire into our clavicle bones. So the chest selected, which is wire parameters, it's going to be modified object, extra controls. Here's L-clav vertical. Let's go ahead and tie that into the y-axis of the left clavicle. So that's transform, rotations, or Euler, Y. I'll go ahead and expand the wiring dialog just so we can take a look at our connection here. We will need to use our degree to radians function. So that's deg to rad, and we'll concatenate L-clav vertical. So now when we go ahead and connect this, you'll see that we have an illegal cycle warning here. Now this isn't actually correct. Sometimes we do have a type of glitchy behavior with the wiring dialog, but we know that this is a very clean connection because in no way does the clavicle influence the chest. It's the other way around. The chest control is actually driving the entire arm. So we're good to go. Now, when we do run into those errors, that's simply because we're trying to wire into a parameter that should actually be the driver. So we just need to be very careful about that when we're wiring these together, that we are wiring from an object that should drive the system into an object that should be driven by that system. If we think about that, then we'll be just fine and we don't have to worry about any issues. So watch this. If we were to go ahead and tie into our z-axis, I'll go ahead and grab L-clav horizontal and tie into the z-axis. Let's go ahead and add our function, deg to rad. And when we go ahead and wire into this, we won't have any warning at all. Again, just showing you that it's a little bit of a glitchy behavior that we very rarely run into when wiring our parameters. Let's go ahead and test these out. I'll minimize the wiring dialog, and we'll start to move our vertical channel. That looks great. And how about our horizontal channel? Fantastic. All right, so once that's taken care of, we can do the same thing for the right side. I'll leave that up to you. And once we're finished here, we can do a little progress check, just checking on our layers, making sure everything is working fine before we move into attaching our flexi lines.